Welcome, everyone.
Good morning, good evening. Just drop something in the chat, say hello. There'll be plenty of interaction in the chat as we go along this morning. We'll let the room fill up for about 30 seconds and then we'll hand over to Scott and get going. I didn't have my video on. I mean, there we go. There we go. Now today's a good day, everyone. All right.
A yellow shirt today.
Yeah, I was thinking about wearing my Bull Run shirt, but I thought as we're just taking a small pullback, I'll wear the yellow in the middle shirt.
So for those of you who don't know, Ian lives in the north of Thailand, and in the north of Thailand, wearing a yellow shirt is a very strong statement.
I don't wear it outside. I tend to
it's a very strong statement to be making up there. It means you support the divine right of kings.
There we go.
Which not many people do up there.
A different world up here, man. Different world.
Different world, isn't it? Yeah.
With that in mind, I shall hand the controls to you, Scott.
All right. We've got some people in here. Let me share my screen and we'll get after it. Welcome, everyone. The Trump victory was not just a narrow win. It's a really sweeping mandate for what I believe are the most radical changes to American life since Ronald Reagan. And this is true whether or not you voted for him, whether or not you like him personally. I'm not a fan. I'm kind of a left-wing guy. But there's no denying the palpable air of excitement in the business community, and not just in the business community, in the broader American society. Americans have voted overwhelmingly that they didn't like the direction their country was going in, and they would like to reverse course on some of those directions. And those directions are lower regulation, lower tax, more crypto-friendly, less DEI, less woke. The election really was a referendum about the direction of America, which leads the world, and Americans have voted overwhelmingly to change course. Gary Gensler is fired. The SEC's war on crypto is completely over now. But consider this. Michael Saylor, he's announced plans to permit TWAP. So what this means is he's going to be buying all day, every day, $40 million a day worth of Bitcoin. All day, every day. Every time it goes down, $40 million a day, $40 million a day. China has unveiled $1.7 trillion worth of stimulus, and the Fed is going to cut 25 basis points minimum at the next meeting. Now, Trump is pushing for a strategic Bitcoin reserve. This is new. Who else in his administration is going to support that? Vance, he personally owns $500 million worth of Bitcoin. Of course, he's going to fucking support it. Vance worked for a VC fund. He worked for Peter Thiel. Of course, they're going to support completely pro-crypto policies. And we have 250 new pro-crypto members of Congress. 148 out of 148 races that a crypto super PAC contributed to, they won. So crypto now has a reputation as a make or break constituency. But I mean, let's be real for a minute. Trump is known for a lot of, big talking bullshit that doesn't actually translate into reality. And, he doesn't have any problem with lying or changing his mind or anything like that. So will he really be pro-crypto? Like, is he really our guy? Let's look at the evidence. In December 2022, he released his own NFT collection. This was his first foray into crypto. It sold out in a day for 4.5 million, which he immediately cashed out. And then he dropped another new mugshot edition, making another 3 million when he got arrested. So he pulled 7 million out of his first NFT thing. In November 2023, he holds an NFT gala at Mar-a-Lago for NFT holders. Huge success, made a couple of $1 million. In May 2024, he starts to accept crypto donations for the Trump campaign. He raises $7 million in crypto for the Trump campaign. Immediately promises to commute the sentences of Ross Ulbricht's sentence, who's the Silk Road guy who's in jail for life, on his first day. A couple of months later, he meets with all the executives from the major BTC miners, saying he wants all BTC mined in the USA for strategic reasons. He is going to, he wants to drill for oil, and he wants Bitcoin made in the USA. These are pretty popularist policies that I think that people are going to want. Now, his latest financial disclosures show that he owns 8.7 million worth of crypto in Ethereum, in his Ethereum wallet alone. He's also got a Solana wallet. But he's got most of that in Ethereum. And I think that's important. This week, he created the Department of Government Efficiency, aka the Doge Department, and Elon and Vivek are heading it. And you can see this is a monthly chart of Doge. And when Elon started tweeting about it, it went from like a fraction of a cent, 100th of a cent, to 70 cents. Went back down to 6 or 7 cents, and it hit 42 cents. I think there's no real upper limit to Doge this cycle. I think the obvious place for Doge to stop is at $4.20. And that's over a 10x from here. So I think we're looking at a 10x in Doge. Now, his latest proposal a couple of days ago is that Bitcoin capital gains would be tax-free. That's huge. Like, that's just game-changing huge. Giving Bitcoin an advantage over every other type of investment is an absolutely monstrous thing. Now, the whole picture is clear to us, but many of us haven't really completely grasped the implications yet. Oh, sure, Trump won. Sure, it's risk on. Sure, the stock market's going up. Sure, we've got liquidity. Sure, people are excited. But it's really a lot bigger than that. It's a lot bigger than what we can really hold in our heads on the first couple of weeks. The regulatory environment for crypto, it's completely changed forever. Now, every single crypto project has a benefit, but there are some more than others. And the ones that get the biggest benefit are the ones that were illegal and now have a free pass. Those are the areas where it's just like a night and day change. And today we're going to look at the biggest winners from the Trump trade, what I think are going to be the biggest winners. And this is why I think this is going to be the biggest bull market of all time, but also the longest running crypto bull market we've ever seen. I think previous bull markets, we're lucky to get a year out of them. I think we're going to get 2 years plus out of this. You are still extremely early, even though the markets run very hard and you might feel like you're chasing it. You might be waiting for a pullback. The evidence is that we're waiting for a pullback, which is going to be very, very heavily bought immediately. We're not looking at major 1 month, 2 month pullbacks here. We're looking at 1 and 2 days and 3 and 4 day pullbacks. But if you haven't got positioned, you've got some difficult decisions to make and you haven't got a moment to waste. So if you sleep on your decision to get fully positioned now, in a month's time, you're going to be chasing at prices that feel stupid to pay. Now, the last 6 months, it's been almost impossible to make money from crypto, but that has changed in the blink of an eye, and right now is the time. The real problem isn't making the money. Obviously, if you bought random dog and cat coins, and if you bought a selection of random dog, cat, and frog coins right now, pretty sure in 6 months' time, you're going to make a shit ton of money. But the real problem isn't making the money. It's not fumbling the bag when it all ends. And let's be honest, and as great as crypto bull markets are, they always end. The game isn't how much you make, it's how much you keep. And today I'm going to show you the exact strategies I'm using to turn $5,000 into $1 million in 2024. I'm not that far off doing that. We are, I've got 2 months to go. I reckon I'll either just squeak into $1 million for the year, or I'll be just behind. And we'll show you all my wallets and shit like that. So there's no lying about it. You can just look up the wallets and see what they had at the start and what they have at the end. So if you've missed out on making generational wealth in crypto, or if you got carted out in a stretcher in the last 6 months of sideways market. Now, this is important to understand. Markets go through a process, which is what I call easy time, hard time. When markets become very easy to make money, they generally follow with a period of being hard to make money. And now we're straight back into easy time. You know, the easy time really started like 2 weeks ago. We should have at least 4 months of easy time before things get hard again, which is great. So this is your second chance, because I'm going to show you in advance which coins I think are going to moon and which coins I've personally got my money positioned in. So you know that I'm not just like spitting out random opinions with nothing behind them. This is going to be your ticket to building massive wealth. And still leading the way. The first point that we have to have is this is all of our coins off the September 6 lows. And if we look at the top, we've got Sui, Doge, Popcat, Radium, which is the pump fund coin, MOG. So memes are still leading the way. And the small memes that we've been trading, the Retardios, the Sigmas, the ones even smaller than that, the scammy ones, these are not the play right now. If you've got Retardio and Sigma, I think those are at least going to 10x from here. I think those are phenomenal things to own. But right now, today, the three that I really would like to concentrate on are Doge, Pepe, and Popcat. And we're going to dig in a little bit to those. I think those are the three big memes that belong in every portfolio. So yeah, so I suggest Popcat, Doge, and Pepe. Those are the three that I think have the highest upside potential. Doge, because it's the meme that normies know. So now I'm starting to get phone calls from my non-crypto friends saying, what coins should I buy? And I'm telling them, what can I buy on Robinhood? What can I buy on Coinbase? I'm saying just buy some Doge. That's good. And buy some Pepe. Popcat, by all the metrics, looks like flipping Bonk and Flocky to become a top 5 meme, but it's not listed on Binance yet as a spot. So, and it's not listed on Coinbase. So this has huge upside potential. I think we can see Popcat at $10 billion. Pepe hit $10 billion yesterday. These are big money for memes. Now, the one that I really think has the potential to capture the mainstream, and it's my aside from Retardio, this is my largest position, is Pepe. And throughout the bear market and throughout the bull market so far, you know, there's just so much Pepe content, like infinite amounts of Pepe content for guys to post. It stood the test of time. It's a meme that normies are gonna recognize. It's a meme that when risk taking comes into crypto, the people who come in first are under 40-year-old men, and under 40-year-old men are the highest risk taking segment of the population. And if you look at under 40-year-old men, as a general rule, think that Pepe's are funny. As a general rule, that would be a default thing. If this gets a Robinhood listing, it hit $10 billion yesterday. Let's look at this bad boy. This was yesterday. And we bought it when it broke out here. I was a bit late on it. I bought it here. This has been a wonderful trade for the 100x Coin Club. Now, how did we know it was a wonderful trade? Because it was a very, very long basing period. The longer something goes sideways, the more it shakes out the idiots, shook out the idiots, and then rip and run. Another big pullback. This was an enormous pullback to shake out the idiots, and then it ripped and run. And then 6 months of pullbacks, finding a base, going sideways, and now it's ripping and running again. This is a wonderful trade. If you're in this trade, no reason to get out. If you're not in this trade, any sort of dip is a buy. Any sort of dip like that or like that, just layer in some bids on the way down. It deserves a pullback. Like, nothing can go this hard without a pullback, but it's still one to own. Now, one thing I like about Pepe is that it's a better, funnier, more versatile meme than its competitors. If we look at the top market cap of memes, Doge 54 billion, Shiba at 14 billion. I mean, like, I owned Shiba when it broke out. It was my first very big, life-changing winning trade. Is it still funny? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think Pepe at 8.9 right now is going to flip it and start to go towards Doge. Dog with hat. It's not bad. Is it still funny? Not sure. But I know that Bonk and Floki, these guys, probably, especially Floki, not so much Bonk, because Bonk's going through the moon right now, but this one is not going to make it. Floki, who cares about it? It's not funny anymore. Peanut the squirrel, flash in the pan. This will be like born, live, die, life cycle of a week, life cycle of a couple of weeks. Popcat behind it, I think, is going to end up just behind Bonk or just ahead of Bonk. So whereas Popcat 1.6, I think it should be, I think it should be around 3. Now, I happen to know many grown adult men who are gainfully employed in the finance industry who actually have a like collection of rare Pepes that they post online all the time. But what else is poised to win big? Now, the thing that I'm most excited about, the standout product of this cycle, is Hyperliquid. And Hyperliquid is this exchange that you don't need to have a username and password to. You can log in just by connecting your wallet to it, and you don't need to tell them who you are, your email. You don't need to tell them anything. And this was completely illegal until Trump got elected. And we know that the product with product market fit in crypto is gambling on perpetual futures. And we also know that if the law around this changes from illegal, but we're looking the other way, to legal, Hyperliquid is going to have a first mover advantage like you wouldn't believe. Now, their coin comes out at 12 o'clock UTC, which is 12 hours from now. And yeah, it looks like this new Hyperliquid coin called Hype comes out in 12 hours from today. What's going to happen is that people are being airdropped it for free. I'm personally getting about 30 grand worth of it, depending on what it's worth. And a lot of people are just going to say, hey, 30 grand, fuck, let's sell it straight away. I would advise not selling, and I plan to accumulate more as it goes down, because it's going to go down because of sellers. I wouldn't get too cute and try and sell it immediately and buy it back lower. I think this is the only DEX that USA customers can use for perp futures right now. Like, if you are in crypto and you want leverage and you want to do this and you want to trade perp futures and you think that you're way behind and you want to use leverage, well, Hyperliquid is really the only place as a USA customer, and DYDX version 4. And Hyperliquid is 5 times as big as DYDX version 4. Now, in June last year, when we started integrating DYDX, Hyperliquid was a quarter the size of DYDX. Now it's 5 times as big. So it's growing because it's a better product. Hyperliquid is going to have a first mover advantage inside the USA, which is the biggest market. It's the jewel in the crown of perpetual futures markets. It's going to have a first mover advantage over Binance, over Coinbase, over Gemini. At $1 billion market cap, this is a gimme. There's no way you can't see this at being a $100 billion market cap coin potentially. Just no way that the tech I've been using extensively. It's magic tech. It feels like it feels as good as Binance to trade on. They list. If we look at the coins they list lots of coins. The funding rate. They've got a good selection of memes here. The funding rate is calculated fairly. And you can see there's big open interest in some of these. This is a very, very good exchange. The next big winners of the bull market are stablecoins. Now, the best business in the world is USD tethers because they don't pay you any money for your tethers. Like they just get to use your tethers, put the money in the bank, keep the interest, and that's what they get. Like that's not a sustainable business model. Other people will come in and eat their lunch. Now, the next big winners of this cycle that people haven't quite figured out yet are stable coins. Now, I want to show you DeFi Lava. Okay, so let's look at the total value locked on ENA, which is a stable coin with a governance USD.E. If we look at the total value locked on this protocol, it went up to 3.56 billion, but off the lows, immediately off the lows, we're going straight up in a straight up fashion. Now, if we look at the USD inflows, you can see that immediately after the election, we're starting to get very, very strong USD inflows into this. The market cap going up as well. This coin and the USD.E stablecoin that it backs, I think at a $1.5 billion market cap, I think this is extremely good value and extremely undervalued right now. And the reason that it's still undervalued is because people's eyes are on the shiny thing, which is memes, but it's not on the thing which is really going to move when people figure out how game-changing this bull market is. So I really like USD.E for yield. I really like ENA as a big winner of it. And I really like that Wintermute, which is the largest market maker in crypto, has just proposed a set of changes to the tokenomics for ENA, where ENA users get more of it. So the basic big thing is that DeFi is back. Like for years, and now the problem with DeFi is if you run a DeFi exchange, no person owns it. There's no company. It's just a bit of code running on people's computers. There's no one to sue. It's a distributed autonomous organization. Like there aren't even laws for it, right? Like that was the problem. There aren't even laws for it. So it was in regulatory purgatory for years. So for years, Gary Gensler has insisted that DeFi DAOs and autonomous organizations are just like a company and they can be sued by just like any other company and they can be injuncted and made to do things. And if they do anything wrong, people involved can go to jail and blah, 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 and they can have their shit. None of that is true because it's not factually true. So investors really haven't grasped yet how different DeFi is when it's legal, like legal. And when the USA is making a genuine effort to lead the world in being DeFi friendly. The two coins that I really, really like, Radium. Radium is the distributed exchange for Solana. It's the exchange where most of the pump.fun meme coin stuff gets done. You can see technically we've just got an incredibly beautiful chart, like a very clean breakout. There's no telling how high this one's going to go. This one is absolutely beautiful. The other one that I really like is Pendle. Now, a couple of things first. You can see off the lows, this has gotten so close to its old all-time highs. So this is not lagging down here somewhere, waiting to catch a bid. This is already rip and running. Now, if we look at the coins which are moving fastest off the lows, these are our lows, this black line. Doge, Sui, Popcat, Radium coming in at number 4. Pepe coming in at number 5. Mog coming in at 6. Ina coming in at 7. Pendle is pretty good at 9. I think Pendle is outperforming its peers. It's not overvalued. It's going to get a huge pop once it hits its all-time highs. And right now, what should you be doing with your portfolio? Well, you should be looking at your portfolio, cutting the dead weight out of it. You know, if you hold HNT or MKR, these things just haven't performed. You've got to swap out some of these zeros for some of these heroes. This is the play. So what I'd like to counsel you all very seriously on is that there'll be stuff in your portfolio that you don't want to get rid of. Oh, I can't get rid of my ADA, or I paid blah, blah, blah for it. I can't get rid of my INJ. INJ was the hot coin in February. I held a ton of it because it's gone down too much. None of that is relevant. What you want to do today, ideally, is start from a blank slate and say, if I didn't own anything, what would I want right here? And you want to have no loyalty to these coins, no loyalty at all. And you want to swap out zeros for heroes. There's no need to overthink it. You know, the new pump funds, like I've been running a few scams on these pump fund fools. You know, I mean, we've been making pretty good money doing it. Like, you can only make like, 10 or 20 grand a time doing it, but whatever, like, money is money. Like, I have fun doing it too. There's no need to do that stuff anymore. So the risk reward of getting all in some of these pump funds and losing your money, the highest and best thing that you can do right now is to think about who's going to be there at the finish of the race. When this bull market is just kicking off, we're in the first month of it. It's going to last 9 months to 2.5 years. The guy who wins is the guy who's still there at the end. And so you have to really very quickly pivot from how do I grind out money because this shit is hard and I need money, to how am I still going to be there when Doge is $1 trillion asset? When Pepe is $100 billion asset, when Hyperliquid is $100 billion asset. And we've seen those stupid numbers before. In 2021 cycle, the valuations were just ludicrous. Vaporware was at $40 or $50 billion. Shiba was at $40 billion. Like, we can get there. This can be even crazier than 2021. Now, don't fall for the new hot meta like the AI scam coins. There's one, especially now, that I missed, and I'm a bit dirty that I missed it, but there's no way you want to buy peanut here. There's no way. This one could fall as fast as it goes. So the brand new ones, peanut, goat, Genon, those have a very unfavorable risk reward ratio right now. They might keep working, but risk reward, those are very, very risky bets. And I don't think we need to take risky bets here. And this is my point for you. We don't need to take, which coin do you want? Do you think has the highest chance of working? Doge. Honestly, you don't need to overthink it. You don't need to take risky bets. You don't need to be piling in and out of the new hot coins. Do I still like Retadio and Sigma? Yeah, absolutely love them. And they're still my biggest holdings, except for Pepe. When this kicks off and you're making piles of money, your thinking is going to get a bit distorted. So you won't want to sell. And this is a problem that's bitten me on the ass more than once. It bit me on the ass. So right here, the 16th of March, I can tell you exactly what I was doing. I was sitting on a beach in Da Nang, Vietnam. I'd been speaking at a crypto convention that day, and I'd been teaching people about systematic trading. And I was sitting on a beach with the conference organizer, Reshvin, who runs one of the biggest crypto companies in Singapore. And he was smoking a cigar and I was having a beer and we were sitting out watching the waves and we were toasting each other. And it was like, fuck, how good is this? We're so smart. Fuck, this bull market's we got at least another year of this. Fuck, we're on here, boys. Like, we're gonna make it. He was like, he had the day before he'd just bought a Singapore house. Like, buying real estate in Singapore is like all of the money, and he bought his house there. Thankfully, I bought a house there too, but thankfully I immediately pulled the money out to pay for it, which was lucky. Otherwise I'd be in a lot of trouble with my wife right now. I'd be in a lot of trouble with my wife right now if I didn't pull the money out to pay for my house. But we're back. So my point is that you never pick the top. It's bitten me on the. I won't pick the top of this bull market. I pick the bottom. I pick the bottom very easily because I know. And the way that you pick the bottom is that everyone hates crypto. But people love crypto at the start of a bull market and they love it at the end of the bull market. So it's really going to be weird. And the hard part is knowing when to sell and how much to sell. Otherwise, you can get caught losing the bag and losing everything. And while we're here, I want to segue to what happens if you catch let's say, a complete runner, like an outlier, like if you were here back then, this is when we bought Retadio at 1/5 of a cent. I've held it through all this bullshit. Up to 5 cents, down to 3/4 of a cent, sideways for 6 months, up to 10 cents, down to 2 cents, up to 24 cents, down to 16 cents. When do you sell? And stop sharing for a minute and I'll log into my thing so I can show you. Yeah. So this is you can see my Retadio wallet.
We can,
So this
yeah.
is my main Retadio wallet. And I hold $372,000 in this stupid thing. And as well as some lock-in, some Sigma, some memes AI, some fart coin, more Retadio, I draw line. There's a bunch. I've got a bunch of wallets, but these are the two biggest ones. Fuck Gary Gensler. That's great news, Jason. So do I think these things are great? Yes, I do. What do you do if you catch one of them? If you catch lock-in, Sigma, Harambe, or you call all Retadio 100Xs from here, which it easily could. How do you do it? So the first point is that you can't sell when there's no liquidity. So this here is liquidity. Hey, baby. What's Mummy and Dashy not going? Mummy and Daddy going for Mummy and Dashy going for the walk?
Yeah, and she didn't come back for a long time.
A long time. Oh, and you miss your doggy.
And me and Kunya been walking to Tonmakam and came back and no one's here.
Oh, baby. That's sad, isn't it?
Mommy and Daisy gone.
They're not gone for long, baby. They'll be back. Dashy's just going for a walk and she's going to do a poo.
But she already did a poo just with mommy already.
Oh, it's a good dog, isn't it?
She did come back. It's already been 10 minutes.
10 minutes? That's a lot. Why don't you go watch some you want to watch some Paw Patrol?
I'm already done with that.
Okay. Can you go Super Kunyan? Thank you for coming and telling me, baby. Sorry, guys. So what do you do if you catch one of these? If you're lucky and there's not much luck in it, by the way, because if you catch one of these, you have to hold through multiple 70-80% drawdowns. If you're willing to do that, it's not sensible to have $1 million worth of a coin and hold through 80% drawdowns. You have to take profits. The only time you can take profits is when there's the liquidity to do it. So if I tried to sell $500,000 worth of Retardio, then it would send the price like to the floor. So I literally can't get out. The only times you can get out is when you have volume, as in you have liquidity. So you have to take the liquidity while it's there, and every time it shoots up, you have to sell a little bit. That's how it works. You have to sell on the way up, not the way down. And how do you choose which amounts to sell? Well, you want to pick an amount that you hate, that you're going to hate yourself for selling if it goes up, and you want to pick an amount that you're going to hate yourself for selling, not selling more if it goes back down. That's how you do it. So that's just a little segue into what do you do if you catch a giant winner like that. But what I'm going to show you is that decision of like, how do I sell? How much do I sell? When do I sell? That's really, really difficult. And what I'm going to show you is an autopilot way to know exactly when to sell. And since the system automatically keeps you in profit, you can enjoy your wealth without actually having to constantly check your phone to see what the markets are doing. In other words, you're always liquid and you can cash out whenever you're ready to buy the new car, buy the dream house, like I did earlier this year, pay for your kids' college fund, or just go on a vacation. And I'll give you the step-by-step blueprint to actually build your net worth to more than $1 million. And the simple version is, if you're starting off with a very small stack, take some risk, take some bets. Take some risky bets on meme coins and some of the DeFi plays that I've talked to you here. And when they start paying off, don't lose it by sticking it into our automated systems. Now, I know that might sound crazy, but just keep an open mind as you stick with me and entertain the idea that this could be possible for you, because I'm going to show you how. Now, important thing to understand is that the beating heart of crypto, it always has been, it always will be, when a little guy throws, I threw $2,200 into Retardio. It's $372,000 today. I put $5,000 into Cockinu and pulled $125,000 out. I put $800 into Mitch and pulled $30,000 out of it. As soon as you, we did a couple just this week. I mean, as soon as you start hearing that, as soon as you start hearing little guys talking about things like, oh, I had $1,000 worth of Pepe and now I'm a millionaire. I had $100 worth of peanut and I'm a millionaire. That spreads like wildfire. That is, did you hear about Steve? Like, he's rich. He bought this coin. And everyone else immediately starts thinking, how do I get rich? What coin? And I'm already you in the chat, who's already getting calls and messages from people, which coins should I buy? So here's the plan. We ride this alt season to a life-changing win. We take the profits and we get about 10xing that on autopilot, and we never risk what we already have. And that's the key. We don't want to risk what we have. And when I say 10x returns on autopilot, you might think that's hype, but since 2019, what I'm going to show you today has turned a $10,000 starting investment into $203,000. You're starting to get the emails about where Lambo. I hate the idea of buying Lambos with crypto money. Like, it's just so lame. You know what I think you should buy? I think you should buy fuck you money and pay off your house and you know, pay for your kids' college education and have enough money that you don't have to work and not buy stupid, fancy, shiny shit to signal how important you are. Mortgage and freedom. You know, get what I'd like for you is for you all to be in a position of fuck you, that no one can tell you, oh, you don't like your job? Fuck you. I don't need it. Don't like where I'm living? Fuck you. I'll go somewhere else. It's cold here. Fuck you. I'll go on holidays somewhere warm. You know, I want you all in a position to say fuck you to the world. And today you're going to see a press button make money system that makes money every single year since we started in 2019. It's never had a losing year. It has 4.5 million of our own money, making 100% per year on average. And it earns risk-adjusted returns better than George Soros and Ray Dalio put together. Works in bull markets and it works in bear markets. You don't get fucked as soon as the weather changes. It printed money during the Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX bullshit, every other crypto disaster. It requires no thinking, no luck, no predictions, and you don't have to know anything. You don't have to stay on top of it. Like you know, I spend 12 hours a day watching charts. You don't need to do any of that. Runs on autopilot. You don't need to check it at all. Takes 3 minutes to set up. If you can set up Netflix, you can do this. It requires zero technical skill. It takes the risk out of crypto because it makes money like clockwork in bear markets. 4 of the 10 biggest hedge funds in the world use something that's very similar to ours, and it's created countless billionaires and multimillionaires. I've personally made, well, just over 10 million USD from it so far. Nobody's happier about that than me. And excuse me while I get a little bit nerdy and dirty for a few minutes. I want to show you under the hood of the most powerful trading system ever offered to retail traders. I'm going to tell you this. The story of how I built it is pretty simple. I just picked the biggest trend following hedge fund in the space and reverse engineered it off their academic published papers. Figured out who worked there, looked at every bit of academic research they've ever published, and very quickly I'd figured out exactly what they were doing. And then I confirmed that with other people that I knew in the industry, and we just built their shit. Everyone does the same thing, apparently, which I discovered afterwards. And here's how it works. So this is FinRev. So this is a coin that we're trading, sushi. This is the actual FinRev. Now, if we zoom in, you can see there's all these little dotted lines and one big line. This is our forecast. If the forecast is positive, like it was from here to here, we're betting that the market goes up. If the forecast is negative, like it was from here to here, we're betting that the market goes down. And you can see that on this coin, at least, this was a really good idea to bet that it went up during here and stop betting that it goes up here, start betting that it goes down. But let's pick another coin at random. Someone want to pick one out of those out of these coins in the chat? Now, here we go. Let's have a look. I haven't looked at NIA for ages. Okay. So every day we're either selling a little bit or buying a little bit. And you can see these are these arrows here. When did we go short? We started to bet that it would go down here, stayed betting that it would go down until here. Bet that it went up until, well, that wasn't working. So we jumped out of that for a small profit and started to bet that it goes down again. Now, where are we now? Let's look at the hard right edge of the chart. We got long here, 3 days off the lows, and we're building a bigger long position. And right now, it's not a particularly big long position. So our biggest long position right now is TRX. So let's have a look at it. And you can see why TRX is our biggest long position. we got long right here, and we stayed long the whole time. This is a coin I don't like. I don't like the people involved. I don't like that it's used for money laundering. I don't like anything about the coin, the founder, or the thing, but it's our largest position. Why? Because it's going up. This is what we do. We buy the things that are going up and we sell the things that are going down. This is absolutely the race might not be to the swift, the battle might not be to the strong, but if you have to bet, this is the way to bet. Okay, so how does it work? You log into your dashboard and it shows how much money you've got. This is how much money you've got. This is how much money you put in, and this is your profit. And these are your top 10 long and short positions by value. You can see that the short positions that we've still got are almost nothing. The next thing you can do is go to positions. You can see our forecasts, whether they're long or not, or short in real time. And we can sort them by notional value. So these are our positions from big to small, and you can see every one of our top 20 positions, we're long. So right now, we have to go down to the third page, probably. A second page, we've got a couple of very small short positions. So let's look at one of the 3 out of 100 short positions, and that's a pretty reasonable thing to be short. My thoughts on Ponki. Ponki is a overvalued marketing exercise meme without a proper organic community. There's something deeply suspicious about it to me, but I think it will probably pump because the marketers behind it seem very, very competent. That's my point. So this is it, and you can see your positions that you've made. You can see every day, you get a trade history of what it's done. And so on this sort of $150,000 account, it doesn't like Zoom for some reason. It keeps doing that. We sold a little bit. We sell a couple of $100 worth, or we buy a couple of $100 worth of very small coins. Yeah, Zoom doesn't like this. It always does this. Yeah, and that's how it works. And you plug it in, you connect. We never take your money. You connect this via an API to your exchange, and your exchange can be Binance, Bybit, KuCoin, DYDX version 4, BitGet, and it just trades automatically for you. It's fucking great. Who else is carrying the weight? This is a very good question. So we've got a team of 6 developers behind it. I personally don't have access to any of the keys or anything. We have a disaster recovery plan. We have a tsunami plan because our data centers are in Japan. We have backup data centers. And the long and the short of it is we have a guy in New York who was chief investment officer of the chief information officer of the New York Stock Exchange, Howard Bruck, and we have Timon Haringa, who's our CTO, who's a very experienced trader and developer. And if I die, everything would continue to go. What kind of leverage is used is a really great question. We can use leverage, but we hardly ever use leverage. In fact, most of the time, we're only partially invested. So why is that? That's because Bitcoin, crypto assets are very volatile. So to get the volatility that we want, we don't have to use leverage. So in the last 3 years, we've never used leverage, except in one brief instance on a coin called TRB. But that was an unusual situation. So it's highly unusual to use leverage. No one's ever been liquidated. No one will ever be liquidated. Like, it's just not that. If you've had it for a week and it's showing slight losses, it might show losses for months at a time. Like, this is not a every day you're going to win kind of thing. This is an every year you're going to win kind of thing. You have to expect losing months. You have to expect sideways periods. Right now, we're heavily positioned long. At the election, we were about 60-40 short. So we got kind of tanked in the election, but the election was a 50-50 call. So we didn't know what was going to happen. No momentum, which is how we used what we use for this algo. It doesn't work on the super small coins, and there's reasons for that. So we won't be trading meme coins with this. Meme coins are things you just want to hold and sell when they go crazy. All right. So in the last few years, algo trading has really matured. So the high frequency trading firms, the market makers, the stat arb firms like Citadel and Belazny, and the trend following firms, they all have the same type of trading system. So it's a solved problem now. And because it's now a solved problem since about 2014, we were able to jump straight to the finish line. And so it all starts with a forecast of future prices, which is what I've just shown you. And we blend a bunch of different algorithms together to get those forecasts. If the forecast is positive, we're betting that it goes up. If the forecast is negative, we're betting that it goes down. Firms use many different forecasts. We use 36, and we've just added cross-sectional carry, and we're adding cross-sectional momentum this week. The best ever to do it uses over 1,000 different ones. You get a performance boost from diversification between signals. You can see how all of our signals are slightly different. In the same way that holding 5 stocks is better than holding 1 stock, having 5 signals is better than holding 1 signal. The forecast can be simple and robust, like our industry standard trend, momentum, and carry, or they can be complicated and tricky based on alternative data, Twitter sentiment, mean reversion on a relative value basket, on-chain analysis, the options market. The key point is it all works the same. You're having a forecast of whether or not you think it's going to go up or down, and if it goes down, yeah. So the next key point, and don't worry if you don't understand this, is that performance scales with the square root of the number of independent bets. So we trade a lot of markets. We trade all these markets. That's how it works. Trading more markets with simple forecasts, and all of our things are very simple forecasts. They're like, is it going up? Well, it's probably going to continue to go up. It's that level of simple and robust and kind of basic, to be honest. Having lots of different forecasts is better than trying to build a crystal ball. And because like thinking you can predict the future, absolutely, that doesn't work. So don't worry if you're a bit confused. I'd be surprised if you weren't. I've just shown you our trend systems. These are our real world results. Pretty good. Great, actually. I'm very, very happy with the results. They have long periods of sideways. When the market doesn't trend, we don't make money. We cannot make money during any sideways period. We can make money when the market goes up, and we make especially large sums of money when the market goes down. Sideways periods and reversal periods, we tend to get fucked here, 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 and here. And here. And here. So, and here, we were in the getting fucked business. But here we made lots of money. Here we made lots of money. Here we made more money than you could possibly imagine. Here we made more money than we possibly made. So I want to be realistic about what we're doing here. What we're doing here is making money when the market moves. We're losing money. We're losing a little bit of money when the market goes sideways to make a lot of money when the market moves. The key thing to understand is that we don't care if it moves up or if it moves down. So these are some longer term results since 2019. You can see on average, it's done 107% a year. This is an old slide, but it's up way up higher than this, and Bitcoin is obviously back up at 90. So the point is that Bitcoin has these huge, big drawdowns along the way. This was a 50% drawdown. This is an 80% drawdown. This is an 80% drawdown. Our system doesn't have that. It spends a lot of time going sideways, but during those sideways periods, it's a lot better just to be going sideways and not making any money than be down 80% and you can't sell your Bitcoin. So let me show you the improvements in FinRev 3.0, and actually, let me show you the progress on it. Let me just load up my Asana. Okay, this is our Finner of Engineering. So what is staging and done is all the DYDX version 4. What is ready is cross-sectional carry is in here somewhere because I know this is ready. So cross-sectional carry is ready to go. What's behind us? What are we behind in? Bunch of small things, nothing big that we're behind on. Just grunt work. And in progress, what are people doing today? Automating this new forecasting system is high priority for us. That should be done today. So this is today's task, and then we're staging cross-sectional carry, and next week it's cross-sectional momentum. That. So we've added 2 new edges, which we think are going to take us to the end game. And after we add these edges, I don't plan to immediately add more edges. I plan to just simply work on the execution. And we've just hired a market maker called David Holt, who you'll be meeting in the coming weeks. Very, very good market maker. He's done the Jane Street trader training, and he's going to be teaching you all for free the market making. He's going to teach you all how to be professional, like top tier trading firm trader training stuff, which I haven't done, but which James and which David have done. So our goal was always to get a sharp 2.0 system, which will make it the best risk-adjusted return ever offered to retail investors. So what we're doing, first of all, is taking our existing trend signals, which look something like this. You can see this looks roughly like our equity curve. It's kind of jagged. When we turn this into what's called a cross-sectional momentum system, so we take those same signals and we go long the top 50 and short, long the top half of them and short the bottom half of them, you can see that instead of this jagged kind of lumpy and bumpy thing, we've got a much more smooth, easier to live with curve. The sharp goes up. Over the last year, our sharp has only been 1.18, but doing this for the last year, the sharp would have been 1.96. So it would have been a seriously large improvement. Now, the next system that we have to add is cross-sectional carry, which is the funding rate. And so what we're doing, let me show you. Is we're using 3 different versions actually. We're using this one, which is the best one, which is premium, which is the difference between spot markets and futures markets. When this is going down, we're betting that the market goes down. When this is going up, we bet that the market goes up. You can see, broadly speaking, that when this is negative, the market tends to go down. Not always. In fact, let's look at this at a 12-hour so we can get more data on it. And when this goes up, tends to be, not always, a good time to be long, good time to be long, good time to be short, good time to be long, good time to be short. And we're using 3 different versions of this. We're using the aggregated premium. We're using the actual funding rate, which is slightly different. And we're using the change in premium as well. So we've got 3 different versions of it. Now, this as a signal is sharp 1.7. So it's better than trend. but it's also very different than what we have now. And this is important because what we have now is good, but it's unsatisfying for long periods of time. So what we're hoping is that while our trend is in the getting fucked business because we're going sideways, this thing is taking off first. So it's smoothing the ride. So this is what it looks like when you blend all three of them together. We still get long sideways periods, but it's a very, very user-friendly curve that I think everyone could live with this. Like a lot of people find our existing trend systems emotionally hard to live with. They're like, oh, I didn't make any money this week, this month, whatever. I think this is a lot easier to live with. So if you aren't fluent in nerd, this is as good as trading systems ever get. The best ever to do it was Renaissance Technology, and they did a sharp 2.1 before costs, 1.9 after costs, and you couldn't get any. And they everyone who worked there ended up billionaires, and they're the greatest ever to do it. And they did 66% compounding after fees for 30 years. And we think we can approach those kind of numbers. We think we can get 100% per year simply because crypto is riskier than other markets. I've already shown you how it works, but this is really about creating generational wealth from crypto. So the bull market's going to come and go. Like, let's be honest, if we got a year out of it, like that's enough to change everyone's life who's here. Throw a few $1,000s in some risky bets, they're all going to pay off. Don't fuck it up, don't blow up on leverage, you're good. But you've got to pull that out and stick it in somewhere where it's going to keep doubling and doubling and doubling again. So if you earn 100% a year, after 5 years, your 10 grand has become 320. But most importantly, you're just a few bends in the road from having a $10 million fortune. I don't care who you are, $10 million is enough. Unless you decide that you're going to become a dickhead and start, you want your own private islands and yachts and flying private. And if you just want to be a normal guy, there's nothing in the world that you can't do with 10 million bucks. It's enough to live forever. And I know, like, ask me how I know, because I can't possibly spend the money that I make right now from my investments. It's impossible to spend. And so I find myself infinitely wealthy with no one in the whole world telling me what to do. No one in the whole world tells me what to do, not even my wife. And so in many, and I can't spend the money I make. So in a very real sense, I feel incredible. Like I'm not that rich. Like I'm not rich by rich guy standards. Like I'm only worth like 10 million bucks, but like it feels totally enough. Now our strategy is done on average 107% per year, and no one's happier about that than me. What you really want to do is relax and enjoy the ride, and know that if you can manage to keep your hands off the steering wheel, this is going to make you rich in 5 or 10 years. And everyone in our company uses this. Everyone in the company has their spare money in it. All the sales guys, all the customer support guys, Ian's got his money in it. Everyone, all the coaches, no matter what you're starting with in 5 or 10 years, it's going to sort you out. If you can just mess with it, not try and pull it out when it goes good and time it when it goes bad. At the end of the year, you can be highly confident it's going to show a profit. There's a big difference between bear markets and bull markets. In bear markets, it's got long sideways and short, sharp up periods. Bull markets are more steady, slow gains. So we're looking for more of this in the next 6 months. And my goal for you is the same as my goal for myself. The ability to do whatever you want, wherever you want, with whoever you want, for as long as you want. Just, everyone's got a job. They sell their time to buy money to live. I'm going to do the opposite. Use your money to buy your time back. Do whatever the fuck you want with whoever the fuck you want, wherever you want to do it. Do what you want. Be free. Be really authentically free. I'm impressed so far. I'm impressed. Hookers and blow, freedom. Hookers and blow. Let's not rule out a hookers and blow fund. Because this has been life-changing for me and my family, I want to give you the deal of a lifetime. This is my beautiful wife, and this is my little kid who you all saw, and this is the Noosa River back home. I still have a place. I don't know. This deal is off. Bitcoin's not $70,000. Bitcoin's going to touch $100,000. So you have to pony up. And here's the deal. We got 3 tiers of FinRev available for you today. FinRev Silver is $1,000 for 3 years, but there's a catch. you have to enter in the trades yourself. It's not that difficult. It's a simplified version of the system. You only have to do it a couple of times a week, but it is a pain in the ass. Like I'll be honest, like actually pressing the buttons is a pain in the ass. It's good, works great. We have some people who prefer it. Our CMO, John, he does it with his wife, and they prefer doing it themselves. They prefer having that control of pressing the button, seeing it themselves, can work with any account. So there's some reasons why you might want to choose FINREV Silver. FINREV Gold is 6,500 for 3 years of fully automated trend following trading. FINREV Platinum is 9,500 for 3 years of fully automated trading, plus the ability to run multiple accounts. If you have FINREV Silver, whatever you've already paid for FINREV Silver and you want to upgrade to Gold, we'll give you that as a discount. Everything you've paid so far is a discount on upgrading to Gold. Does that make sense? So let's say we gave you a deal and you spent $500 on it or whatever, or $1,000 on it, and you want to upgrade to FINREV Gold or FINREV Platinum, we'll pull that off. So FINREV Gold is what I personally use. I personally prefer it over Platinum. You get 3 years of automated algorithmic trading with FINREV. You get a VIP onboarding with one of our expert crypto trader coaches, not a customer service muppet in the third world, like someone who's a professional trader who uses the system themselves. You get all the stats and monitoring that I've shown you today. You can delay starting or pause at any time. If you find a hot meme coin that you think is going to moon, you can just hit pause, dump it in that, pull it back out. I endorse and encourage that kind of behavior. I think there's a time to push your chips into the table, and that time it's probably now. We've got to double your money guarantee. If you aren't in profit after your first 12 months, we'll let you use it for free until you've doubled your money. And I'd like to let you know that no one has ever had to claim on that. If you want this, finrev.trade/call for FINREV Gold. What's the difference between FINREV Gold and FINREV Platinum? It's 9,500 for 3 years. It has a couple of features that are very, very interesting. So it's got the same 3 years of automated algorithmic trading with FINREV. It's trend cross-sectional. Oh, sorry, I have to stop my video and start again. It's trend, it's cross-sectional carry, and it's momentum together. So it's the three systems blended together. But also you get the ability to run multiple accounts and multiple leverage levels. So what I mean is that you can run a small account at a very ridiculous degenerate leverage level. And, we've had people 20x and 50x accounts running at high leverage. I personally, I have one that does that. Ian has one that does that. We all have one that behaves that you can just turn up the volume on this until it behaves like a meme coin. And when markets start to trend, then it goes just nuts. We all have a degen account. Yes, this is USD. So you get the same VIP onboarding, the comprehensive statistics and monitoring. We completely custom design the system for your goals. So if you're closer to retirement, you need to dial down the risk. If you're young, you can dial it up. You want to split your risk between exchanges. Let's say you don't want to put yourself in a position where Binance going down could wreck you. You could split it between Binance, Bybit, DYDX. That's very valuable. You get grandfathered into new systems. We've got 6 more on the drawing board. The same delay, starting or pause at any time. The same double your money guarantee. If you aren't in profit after your first 12 months using the system, we'll let you use it for free until you've doubled your money. And how do the Sharpe ratios compare between silver, gold, and platinum? That is a great question. Silver is about a 1.2 to 1.3, depending on market phase. But that's assuming you're not going to make too many mistakes in execution, and you could easily make mistakes in execution. I'd say counting on a Sharpe ratio above 1.1 is probably a little bit wishful thinking for silver. Gold has been historically a 1.7, and we think we're going to get a 2 with platinum. Hyperliquid is our next exchange to add, and I love Hyperliquid. I know the owner. I've been using it myself. I'm a big beneficiary of the airdrop. We had a decision to make last year whether we were going to integrate DYDX or Hyperliquid. At the time, DYDX was 4 times the size. Now Hyperliquid is 4 times the size of DYDX, and DYDX has grown. So DYDX is a successful a successful project. Hyperliquid is just leaving it in the dust. So that's our next. No, MEXC is a scam right now. In terms of market making, they won't allow external market makers. They don't want algorithmic traders to on their platform because they want to keep all the market making revenue for themselves, which is really greasy. This will never 10x in 9 to 12 months, Jared. It can never 10x in 9 to 12 months. This is set to double your money almost every year, but without big drawdowns. If you want to 10x your money in 12 months, let's look at a typical coin that has 10x'd its money. Let's look at, all right. Let's look at something that really has done very well over the last whatever. So it started out at 42 cents, went to 94 cents, so it doubled, dropped to 27% cents. So that's a 75% drawdown. Took 3 months to get back to where it was, doubled to 174, down to 120, up to $2, down to 160 today. This is a wild ride. And this is the most successful coin. This is not like something more reasonable, like INJ was one of the hot coins of earlier this cycle. It went from 58 cents, it 50x to $25, and then back down to $1. So you're looking, if you want 10x returns, you have to be willing to accept 80 to 90% drawdowns. Now, I'm not in favor of accepting 80 to 90% drawdowns with all of your money. I don't think that's sensible investing. I don't think it's responsible investing. And why? Because at 90% drawdown, a lot of you just give up and say, fuck, crypto sucks. I'm going home. And they'll give up here. And most people don't put their money in here. Most people put their money in here just in time to be in the getting fucked business. And my point is that making these decisions about when do I get in, when do I not get in? Do you get in this coin now? Is it going to go back up? You know, these decisions are hard. And what this does is it takes those decisions out of your hand, and it's never going to 10x in a year, but it's also never going to lose you more than 20 or 30% of your money at an absolute max. Scott, you're fading INJ in favor of ENA. Yes, I am. Yeah. I think INJ is. Why do I use the spaghetti chart going back? I like to go back to. Let's look at the total crypto market cap. I like to go back to where the move started. You could also do it since the election. So let's also look since the election, or you could also look further back at the very lows, because I think the market changed since the election, obviously. So let's look at it since the election. So since the election, what's going up? ENA, SUI, WIF, ADA. This is a composite of meme coins that I made. Doge, Pepe. I mean, you know, it's a meme world since the election. I mean, I've thought we were overdue for a pullback for a couple of days, Freedom. And we haven't had a pullback. So what's that telling us? Is it's probably telling us that we're overdue for a pullback. Probably we're going to start a pullback pretty soon, but also that whatever pullback we have is going to be heavily bought. And I think you're probably right. I think we've had a good run for 2 weeks. We're probably due to go sideways and down for a week. But I think there's a bunch of horny dip buyers there, like really, really horny guys who just want in. And honestly, I think you should use this bit of software. I think it's I think it's made me wealthy, and I think it's going to do the same for you. And I think it's going to do it safely. I think it's going to lower your chances of fucking it up. You know, your number one risk here is being underallocated to this industry that you followed. Most of you followed this for years. Your number one risk right now isn't the Fed. It's not Donald Trump. It's you fucking it up. And this is going to stop you from fucking it up. That's why I use it. Because me on my best day, I can beat this. I can't perform at my best all the time. I burnt out from trading too hard earlier this year. I needed a month off. I can't be awake 24/7. I can't follow 100 things at once. I have to choose, what am I following closely now? Like right now, memes are hot and I'm following memes. That might change and I might be late on picking up what the new hot thing is. So if I want this to last for a decade, I can't, like a sensible business plan isn't that I'm going to stay all over everything like a fat kid on a Mars bar for 10 fucking years. Like that's just not a realistic business plan. What is a realistic business plan is crypto is red hot right now. It's time to lock in. It's time to lock in and get this money. We're all going to make it. We're all going to get rich. But it's also time to start making plans on how the fuck am I going to keep it? How am I going to keep it and grow it? And how am I going to change my life with crypto? Not just how am I going to pick a coin that 100x's. Yeah. That drift call was something special, wasn't it? Meme coins don't work the same as the regular charts until they're listed on sexes on central exchanges, Tony. Yeah, I'm going to hand it back to Ian and yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for your time. I think today was pretty cool.
It really was. What interesting times we were in. So
let's do the Trump double jerking off two guys.
I mean, you build 100 bridges.
Oh.
Right. Well, I'm off to the Elephant Festival for the rest of the day. I think there's going to be about 200 elephants running around. So,
for people who've never been to Thailand, it's an ordinary, it's an unusual thing, but it's not like unheard of that a family would just decide to have an elephant. Like you guys, like some of you guys have a big dog, like some of them have like, and so we have local elephants running around, like not in a zoo or anything, just like, hey, this is my fucking elephant.
He's hungry.
Yeah, they're always hungry.
Yeah, they are. All right, that's awesome. I think that the questions have been addressed. Thanks, everybody. I look forward to seeing many people on the inside. And yeah, behind this sensible face is a very excited. We've broken out and we're off. We're
off and running. Let's get this money, boys.
All right. Cheers, everyone.